right, we're back.
We're back.
We got I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop the news.
I think you should.
We are moving our store location
To the classy side of Main
3 blocks away.
But
It's still in Covington, Kentucky. But if you've ever been to this store, you're aware of the fact that this block fucking blows.
this block has character.
This block has crackheads
And crackheads.
and nothing else.
Yeah.
So we are moving to Main Street in Covington, and we'll be open there around the beginning of September. Date is still to be decided. We'll be having an opening event at some point. It is a very busy street.
It's the nice side, because it's the same street I live on. It's just the other end.
It's as far away as you can get. But it's a very nice little area. There's a bunch of blocks of stuff, restaurants, bars, other stores.
Yeah.
And can you get anywhere near the microphone?
I am now.
And, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
That'll be beginning of September, and then we're very close to announcing another thing in October. But I won't yet. I will say it'll be in Austin, Texas, though.
Yeah.
So if you're in and around Austin, Texas,
You probably already know.
on Halloween night,
You know what we're talking about.
you don't. But, keep that date open. We're doing something. Okay. What else do we have? Anything fun? Oh, here's a recommendation, because we do these periodically. I've been watching the TV show The Deuce. It is by the same people that did The Wire, David Simon and George Pelecanos.
Is that good?
It's very good. It is about New York City and pornography and prostitution.
Oh, I think I remember seeing something about that.
Talk a little fucking louder.
I think I remember seeing something about
There
that.
we go. That's the radio voice. It's good. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal's in it. She's very good.
Wow.
James Franco's in it. He is not as good, but he does play 2 characters, so you do get a lot of him.
He's creepy.
Yeah, but everyone else in it's very good. I'd recommend that show if you are not averse to seeing a lot, and I mean a lot of fucking. It's think of the topic, and it's a lot of that.
And they don't imply it.
No, they're like they're hanging.
This is how it goes in.
They don't go. I mean, I don't know if you're watching.
Do they hang dong?
They hang a lot of dong. Yeah.
It's equal opportunity.
It's not equal, but it's close.
Okay.
James Franco has not. I found it very interesting that none of the lead men have had to hang dong, but every single lead actress has had to,
Yeah.
not hang dong, but generally the equivalent.
Wow. It tracks, actually.
It is a very good show, though. They do I wasn't there, but New York City, because it jumps time, New York City in 1971, 1976, and I haven't seen the 3rd season yet, but it's sometime in the 80s.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
It looks great.
It must be, I was going to say visually, I bet that's fantastic.
However they shot it, whoever did, they did a very, very good job of recreating what I think it looked like based on movies.
I was going to say also that's kind of your shit, so if you're pleased with it, I'm sure they did a good job.
Apparently in the 80s, in the 3rd season, they go to L.A., so that's interesting to me as well.
There you go.
Speaking of L.A. and New York.
Oh, yeah.
See that segue?
Yeah.
We talked to Nick Rutherford.
Yeah.
Nick Rutherford is a comedian,
You know him.
actor, writer, etc.
Such things as...
Well, yeah, I'm about to say. He has written on Rick and Morty, on Saturday Night Live. He came up in a comedy troupe with Beck, Bennett, and Kyle Mooney, also Saturday Night Live. He has done Crabopolis, which has Matt Berry in it, and Matt Berry is fantastic. Great voice on that guy, which is good for an animated show.
Yeah.
He also works on the Eric Andre show.
Tell that guy.
And I'm forgetting, oh God, that name just totally slipped.
Dream Corp LLC.
Thank you. Dream Corp LLC. We've been saying a lot of shows and talking about a lot of shows because we just recorded this, and you know how that goes. Brain crosses up. I enjoyed this conversation. We're working on moving more into the entertainment industry outside of music. I like talking to musicians,
I
but
love talking to country music,
I want to talk to more comedians, actors, writers, etc. I'm also always fascinated with Saturday Night Live, so anyone that has worked there, that's going to be interesting to me. He came up in comedy basically starting at the time that The Lonely Island hit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a new kind of phase of how comedy could be seen and done with, internet websites like Funny or Die and YouTube.
Yeah. Well, he got his start way before that, but that's when he started making comedy.
Oh,
right?
he had just grad. Yeah, true. He did. He
a
was in the
child
Tracy
actor.
Ullman show when he was 5 years
He was
old.
5 years old.
And his voice is in Kindergarten Cop.
That's right.
But in comedy, they all came about right around the time of The Lonely
Right.
Island. And then, the career...
I like
The careers in show business are never straight lines. It's always interesting to hear about how one thing leads to another thing, and
he's got a cool story.
yeah. So I enjoyed this episode, and it is, what's the word I'm looking for?
Shit. Normally I have an idea.
The problem with recording an intro instantly after the podcast is I just burned all my talking.
Yeah. And I haven't sunk up to what you're thinking yet.
No. So all I'll say is it's a good episode. It's with Nick Rutherford.
Yeah.
Him and Dan Harmon are also working on a new show, and we vaguely talk about that at the end. So enjoy.
Enjoy.
I'm your black cat, baby. Your bad luck creeping around the bend.
You were on the Tracy Ullman show as a child.
I was, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know about that until after this was booked because I wasn't alive then. I want to talk about that first.
Yeah, I watched that with my dad.
Yeah, I did too, but after it was on. What was up with that? What was it like working on that show, being that young?
And how did...
I mean, I must have been like 5 or 6 or something on that. You're just treated so well. I was like a child actor, and you're really... Oh, I had to push our record today because of therapy, so maybe you're not treated that great. Because today he was like, maybe you have some childhood trauma we need to uncover. But at the time, you're just like, you go to set, you can only work 3 hours a day, or then you could. And there's a set teacher who just like brings clay and toys to play with, and everybody's nice to you because you're just like a little precocious kid. It was great. I mean, they would just tell me where to walk and what to say, and there was a live studio audience. I remember there was this one, I don't know if he was there all the time, because this was a long time ago, but there was, I guess, the musical guest, or maybe he was always the musical guest, but he was playing glasses. Like He had a grid of different crystal glasses filled with different volumes of water. I can't do it with this, but if you take a wine glass and you get your finger a little wet, you can make it ring and sing a little bit. So he would play like classical music on like 100 different glasses, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. That was what I took away from it. Right.
Well, you said you were a child actor. Are you from Los Angeles?
I'm from Thousand Oaks, which is about, 45 minutes to an hour away from LA. So it's Ventura County technically, but very close, yeah.
Now, were your parents in the industry, or did they put you, because like if you're 5, you're not deciding to be an actor probably?
No. My parents were not in the industry at all. My dad's a computer guy. He's top engineer at Meta now. No, he's not. He's retired. But
it's like we talked to him.
Yeah. He worked for Calavo Avocados. But you can talk to him about that if you want. I don't know if you have any trouble with your pits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's a computer guy.
He was a computer guy. My mom I had 2 siblings, so she was just full-time mom. She used to be in jewelry, but her friend was like this photographer, and she was like, oh, I need to take photos for my reel. So she's like, and Nikki, like, can I take a photo of Nikki? And she was like, yeah, sure. And we did this photo shoot with this other little girl. I should really figure out who that little girl was. It was
very famous.
I know, that's what I was just like. It was Amy Adams. No, I don't know.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, yeah. It was in Australia. And she took these photos that were just like, I was like wearing like a newsy cap and like Oshkosh bagosh, like overalls and stuff. I have them somewhere. And then she was like, these are really good. You should send them to an agent. And I guess that's how just like Hollywood worked in like the 80s. So my mom just like sent them like printed up a bunch and sent them to agencies. And then this like kind of legendary child agent, her name was Iris Burton. She passed like 10 years ago. But she repped like Joaquin Phoenix and River Phoenix, and she was just like
all the big names.
Anyway, all the big names, yeah, back when they were kids. And then I guess I had a meeting. I don't remember any of this. I was 3 years old. She had a meeting, and she brought me into her office, made my mom stay outside, and my mom was just like waiting outside in her office. She chain smoked all the time. And she eventually like called her in, and I was like sitting on Iris's lap while Iris is just like smoking a Marlboro Red cigarette with this like raspy voice. And she tells my mom, she goes, at least this is what my mom told me, but she goes, "He's too young, but I don't want anybody else to have him. I'll take him." And then she signed me, and then I started doing like commercials and weird little bits on TV shows, and then I don't remember when the Tracy Ullman, I don't even remember auditioning for it, and then I was on the Tracy Ullman show for a minute and just did like random shit until like high school, and I stopped going out professionally.
Do you, I'm curious, do you still like see residual checks from that work?
That's funny. I don't think I've seen a residual check from Tracy Ullman show in a long time, but I'll still get, from that I started doing like voice work, and they used to do, well, they still do these things called like loop groups or ADR.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, it's basically like the background voice of movies and TV shows. So they'll film like, a cafe scene, and there'll be like 40 extras in there, background actors. And they will just have everybody just pretend they're talking because they want clean audio of the dialogue. And then later they'll send in a group of like 10 voice actors who will go in, and you'll be like, "All right, Sam, you get that guy in the back who's ordering the coffee, and I'll be the barista. And then you get that couple who's fighting in the corner," and you just record like bullshit audio, like trying to match lips if you have to. So anyway, I got into that at maybe 8 years old, just because I was an actor, and I was like, oh, he can talk and he follows directions well. And so I still get checks from Kindergarten Cop.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
your voice is in Kindergarten Cop.
My voice is in Kindergarten. There's a lot of just like screaming at like playground as Arnold's like, "Oh, stop." But I did that. I did that for like 30 years. I never had a day job because I'd always be able to do like ADR work. But that's not true. I delivered pizzas and I waited tables and everything. But whenever I was working professionally, I would always be able to do that. But that is like the only line that you can actually find my voice in it. There is this scene, there's this little boy, it's like the fire alarm is pulled, and this little boy like jumps up on a table and he's saying like, "I'm on fire," but they didn't have clean audio. So that's my voice.
That's you.
That's me. But it's an African American child. So it doesn't feel great to brag about it. That I like took his line.
Huge, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like once or twice a year I get a check for like $8 or something. It's nothing.
That's fair. Okay.
But somebody's keeping track of that, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to. Like,
yeah, you have to.
I've seen checks that people have posted, actors that were like in a thing, like speaking roles for, a movie or an episode of a TV show, and they'll show the check and it'll be like $40 for the year. And I'm like, how the fuck is that? Like, I know the show. You're on CSI.
Yeah.
The industry doesn't seem necessarily actor friendly.
No. Well, I did like one episode of The Office. I think I had 2 lines. And I'll get a check once a year for about, $30-$40. But then I go like, what is Jim and Pam getting? Like they're on every episode over like 12 seasons or something. They're doing good.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of like The Big Bang Theory, everyone was making like $1 million to $2 million an episode, and then royalties.
Jeez.
I think I heard that about like the Friends cast too. It was like 15 years off the air, they make $10 million a year and just royalties.
Well, it was a pretty big show.
I hate this.
So you got out of acting when you went into high school, is what you said.
Yeah, kind of. I was always pulled out of class, and my sister. I have an older sister and a younger brother. My older sister was really involved. Well, I got out of like professional acting because I wanted to follow in my sister's footsteps and do show choir in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so which was probably a mistake.
That was kind of like backwards of the way most people go about it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just wanted you get like if you get like a really good gig, you're like out of school for like 2 months. I was constantly on set doing school, and I was just like, I kind of just want to have a normal high school experience, and then I'm going to go to like UCLA or something, and then I'll start it up again. But I just want to go to high school. I don't want to be constantly taken out of class and stuff.
Okay, so you did just want a normal experience.
Yeah. I think it was just. I mean, maybe it was just like. Yeah, I don't know. I was also like, getting to that awkward age, and I was just like, I wasn't like cute little Nikki Rutherford anymore. I was like kind of pudgy, prepubescent Rutherford.
Right.
And I was just like, I'd rather just not worry about this for a couple of years.
I mean,
makes sense.
I think one of the few people that has actually made that transition acting like almost the whole time is Jason Bateman. Like, he did have a down period, obviously, in the 90s when he went a little nuts. But then he got arrested and came back. But if you watch like a video of him when he's 13, it's just Jason Bateman. Like, it's just a smaller, hairless Jason Bateman, and it's hilarious. Like,
he's worked forever, right?
Yeah, like he was. I think the same thing where they just had pictures taken of him for like some friend needed pictures and it went to an agent. Like the same story, basically.
I gotta hit him up. Me and Bateman should start a podcast. Yeah. Wait, when did he get arrested? See, maybe that's what I'm missing is like a Robert Downey Jr. like coke years.
Oh no, he Arrested Development. He got
okay.
Yeah. Was he a child actor?
Oh, I don't know, but he was probably like a teenage sweetheart. Right.
Yeah. Have you ever seen his dad's movie? It's
Robert Downey Sr.?
Yeah. So he's done like two things. He's a terrible person. He gets his head blown off and To Live and Die in L.A. But he also made this movie in the early 70s called Putney Swope. And it's black and white.
Yeah.
And it's like a almost like a black militant movie about making advertisements on Madison Avenue. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, my buddy showed that at the Manhattan Cafe.
It's really weird. It's good. But he made exactly one movie, and it was that.
Huh.
He was an actor?
He was a director of Putney Swope, and then he acted in To Live and Die in L.A. for some reason. I don't know.
Just to get shot.
Yeah, just to get shot in the face.
Well,
I've never even thought about there's a senior to the junior. I never even.
And he was a bad guy.
In what way?
Robert Downey Jr. came by his coke when he was about 8 years old. They would just get high together, and like it's not like like a dad and son.
It's not like
sons in the
joint with my dad when I was
and you're
young.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like 7, 8, and his dad was like, "Here's cocaine." So it's remarkable he actually worked.
He shouldn't have had to go.
Yeah, I think we can write him off. Okay, so you're in high school, and then you go to college. Did you get back into acting in college?
Yeah, I mean, I did all the plays in high school, and I was always really active in community theater and stuff before high school.
Were you writing this time, too?
Not really. Okay. Not really. I mean, in high school, no, not really. It was really college that I started writing. I mean, I knew I wanted to be a comedian. My first goal was to be the youngest person to own a Las Vegas casino.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah. I mean, you could drive, it's a 5-hour drive from my parents' house to Vegas. And it was like back when they were like making Vegas family friendly. So there were like cool arcades everywhere. Yeah. And then they realized they don't make any money with that. So they destroyed all the arcades and like the Coca-Cola museums.
But the kids still go there for some reason.
The kids are still going there. And then that's when they started the What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas. They were like, leave your kids at home, cheat on your wife. We don't care. Just come here and spend money. Like we're not making amusement parks anymore.
Except the last time I was in Vegas, it's kids.
Just Kid City, yeah.
Dude, it's like I'm walking around the casino and there's babies running around. I'm like, this doesn't
It is pretty wild.
this isn't good for me, you know? I don't,
No,
I
it's
don't like
probably worse for them.
Probably.
Right, like
Yeah.
your parents are supposed to take you to Disneyland, not the fucking
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace, you know,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we can smoke inside still.
Yeah, no, that's it's not great.
What people got you into comedy? Like, what are your
Like early influences?
Yeah, I'm always curious.
I mean, this is probably not going to sound great, but my dad was a big fan of Cosby. Obviously, before, we knew.
He's not a big fan of the raping.
Yeah, no. He didn't. No, well. No, yeah. He was a big fan of, like, the storytelling. And so, I mean, I remember listening to, like, actual Cosby records.
Yeah, I had some.
Which was, like, kind of still vintage even then. You know, there was, like, CDs and shit. But, like, he had his old records from college or something. And
Funny man.
I just liked his storytelling. I just really liked telling stories. I mean, I was always a funny kid, you know. I was always like class clown and shit like that. But I was like, if I'm gonna own a casino and then be the world's youngest stand-up comedian.
Okay.
And then like years.
Wow. It wasn't a thumbs. I got a thumbs down earlier.
Really?
That was good.
It's so
radio.
insulting. Like,
balloons
wow,
are
you want to be the youngest stand-up comedian? Here's balloons, you idiot.
Yeah, because
So
if this is audio only, a bunch of balloons just floated in front of Nick's face on the screen for no
Yeah,
conceivable reason.
For the listening audience.
Yeah.
I put up a peace sign, I think, and then I just had a little birthday party. A little digital birthday party.
Yeah, dude, when we were
casino
before
To
this,
celebrate my dreams, yeah.
we were not recording yet. You weren't here, and Eli was talking, and one of that came up, but it was just a big thumbs down. I'm like,
Really?
No.
This is
down bubble.
terrible audio.
Yeah, see, right there.
Yeah.
You got one.
I think you could do this, and it's like a laser show. You're going to have to cut this shit out. Oh, confetti. So if you do the I am not a crook hand
Confetti.
signal, it gives you confetti. Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, that's new.
Yeah, that's
This is what AI is giving us.
this is what AI is giving us.
They talk about.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks, Sam
We're all
Altman.
fucked.
I always find like early comedy influences interesting because I very vividly remember being 12 years old and going to a Blockbuster with my dad and renting My Cousin Vinny, and then also Jim
Yeah.
Gaffigan's King Baby. And I didn't know what stand-up comedy was, right? Like the concept didn't exist to me yet.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't want to rent it because I was like, it's a guy talking for an hour. That sounds horrible. I want to watch a movie. And then he was like, you're going to like it. And I remember just sitting there in his apartment watching King Baby and just being like, oh my God, that's an option?
Yeah, it was that like raw for me. Like once I like started to dive into comedy, I was like, you could just stand on stage in like a red leather jumpsuit and be a god.
Yeah. You can be Andrew Dice Clay and come out and not talk for 5 minutes while everyone
Yeah.
loses their fucking minds because you're
dude,
lighting
he
a
was-
cigarette.
Yeah, you can do some weird like cigarette over your head thing, and that's your closer. I do think it's gotten a little more difficult, but it
we've
was like
seen
very
that.
personality based before.
Is that,
Okay, so you grew up, you're listening to Cosby, and then you go to college from high school, and you know at a certain point you obviously hooked up with 3 other guys and did a comedy group.
Yeah, I went to USC, and I went to junior college. I went to this community college in Moore Park called Moore Park Community College, and just because it makes college so much cheaper, and we didn't have any money. And I got really into theater there. I think I started taking writing classes there, like cinema, television writing classes there, and did a lot of improv. And I was starting to do shows in Santa Monica. I was like 17. I would like drive into Santa Monica to do shows at this little tiny theater that's no longer there, like improv shows.
Yeah.
And then when I got to SC as a like theater major, there was like a flyer that was like, oh, audition for Cometus Interruptus, which is it's like the longest running improv group on USC campus.
Right.
I think there's a whole bunch now. There was like 3 that were made during my time there. And I auditioned. Yeah.
I just
Go
remember
ahead.
I was hearing, I don't remember if it's that exact one, but I was listening to an episode of Marin, and they listed off a bunch of people who had been in a USC improv group, and I was like, oh my God, that's like all of the people.
That's so funny.
You know?
It might have been that one. I mean, there was a bunch of them, but it might have been that one.
Because it was an old one, I know that.
Yeah, I graduated in 6, And I think it had been around for 20 years previous to that.
That's always interesting that a college can upkeep that with the amount of turnover that happens, because you'd assume that after 5 years, the original people are gone, the second group's gone, they go, fuck it.
One guy drops the ball and it just dissolves.
Yeah, so it's
it was like a machine. I mean, we performed, they kind of treat you like a business too. Like, we would perform every Friday, like, in this main quad outside. It was so fun. Like, we just get hundreds of people there and just, like, on grass so you could just fall down and, like, flop around. It was just so fun. And then also, we were, like, tasked with, like, going to the prospective incoming students or actual incoming freshmen, and we would perform for all these, like, orientations, and the school would, like, pay us, like, legitimate money. So we would, like, travel to different comedy festivals. But it was like performing for like 17-year-old kids who like are with their like conservative parents, and then like a college a cappella group gets up there and does like the Mario Party theme with like do 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 do, and like it's just whatever. Not to bag on a cappella. I mean, I did it for 4 years in high school. But it's just, it's a little tame.
Yeah.
And then we would jump up there and just start saying like, fuck, you bitch. And like, we were kings. It's like, Mom, I got to go to the school. You could curse. Like, it was very, very fun.
Is that where you met Kyle and Beck and Dave?
Yeah. We had all auditioned together, or Dave didn't. Dave wasn't attending the school, but Kyle and Beck and I did. And then the three of us ended up getting into it. And just became like really, really tight right away. And then that group would do like 2 sketch shows a year. So we would do, in addition to just rehearsing improv and performing all the time, we would like be constantly preparing like this big live sketch show. And Dave was going to film school, and so we started making videos for these sketch shows. And then it was kind of around the age of like Lonely Island.
Yeah.
And so as I had transferred in, so I like graduated basically a year or so before they did. And then kind of my final year, we were like kind of starting to lay the groundwork for like, okay, well, when we all graduate, we're going to do the Lonely Island thing. And we're going to like, just put our shit online, and we're going to just make videos all the time. And that's what we did.
I mean, I remember, I wasn't that old when Lazy Sunday came out, right? But like I was just at the beginning of the time where you start watching SNL, right? And I remember watching that and being like, that's different. But then also the like YouTube, it was everywhere, and that became an entirely new way to distribute your comedy. You didn't have to be discovered in a club by someone who knew like Lauren Michaels or Mitzi Shore, or, you could just put it up there and they'd be like funny.
Yeah, that's
and then you could share it. And it wasn't like part of a short festival and like Telluride or something. Like you could just immediately share it. But early days, it was like YouTube, heavy.com, super deluxe. I mean, even Vimeo was kind of trying to be a platform, like not just like for professionals to trade video. Like, so we would just have to upload every video on like 9 different platforms. I remember we had all graduated, but we still lived by campus, and we would edit videos in this computer lab, this really high-tech computer lab at SC, because we didn't have any money or a computer to edit. And we didn't have access because we weren't students. So we would just like, Dave and I would stand outside chain smoking Parliament Light cigarettes until somebody would open the door, and then we would just swoop in. And we were there like more than most students. So eventually people would just be like, oh, you forgot your ID, come on in. And we would just, but there would be this room that would have all these Power Macs, like these super crazy, like old iMac computers, just like 30 of them in there. And we would put our videos up on Funny or Die. And we figured that Funny or Die had this algorithm before anybody knew what algorithm meant, where like in the first hour, if it got a bunch of funnies, it would make it to the front page. So Dave and I would just load up like 6 browser windows on each computer, and then with rolling chairs, just go down and like funny, just like in a carousel around this like little classroom.
Like these videos
so we're
are really
frauds,
hit.
basically.
That is
Yeah,
the
we
best
are
origin
total
story ever.
Yeah.
we snuck into the school.
We were the only people watching our own videos.
I love
Yeah. Well, it got it on the front page, and then people got to watch it. It like broke it through the noise.
Yeah.
But also, it's crazy now. I mean, the competition was much less back then. Like, we bought like a SD. We had to get Kyle's dad to buy us a camera. Like, we had to like pitch him a business plan to get a boom mic because like you could have just shoot shit on your phone. We were just like scrapping by.
Well, also, I mean, like the barrier to entry was higher, so there's less competition because you did have to have a boom mic. You had to have a camera that could record. You had to have somewhere to edit it, whereas opposed to now, like there's thousands of people on Instagram making reels that are comedy, and sometimes those reels end up getting you a movie that makes fucking $500 million, like the guy from Obsession.
Yeah, seriously.
But, I mean, it's an entirely different landscape in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened fast.
How do you work with it?
I mean, I feel like there's constantly, I can't really speak for Beck and Kyle, but there is kind of constant pressure to be like, shit, should we still be doing this? Like, people still want it. I feel like we're just not in the conversation of it anymore. Like I love the like real lo-fi you edit on your iPhone videos of like people like jumping off a ladder and then cutting straight to heaven, and they're like, damn it, like, and it's like shitty green screen. Like, I love that stuff, and I'm like, I don't think I could do that now. I think it would be weird if I like jumped into like the bad green screen sketch comedy. It'd just be like, no, you can't do it. So I just stay out of it.
I mean,
I just totally stay out of it.
Have you seen that guy? There's a guy going around Instagram now who's interviewing baseball players with nonsensical questions.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And all of the comments on it are just like, "Hey, long bombs away."
Yeah,
it's just a rip of that shit.
I mean, it's all cyclical, I guess. Everything just keeps happening over and over again.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen that guy.
It's the same. It's the
same.
Okay, so you guys get that group together.
Yeah.
And you're out of college, you're putting stuff up online, and I assume you're trying to get into the next level from making, online videos. Yeah,
I mean, I think in the back of our mind, I think there was like, we'll do the Lonely Island route and Lauren will just like scoop us up. But also it felt so far away and impossible, and like lightning's not going to strike twice. So we just started pitching things. We got like hooked up with this big conglomeration of a bunch of different YouTube channels, and that kind of gave us this like infinite production pipeline. So then we got to kind of raise the quality of because then we could like borrow their like HD cameras and their equipment, and we had a full production staff. And so we started making kind of higher fidelity videos. And then this is over the course of like a decade. I was like working at, if I wasn't doing like ADR, I was working at Grand Lux Cafe in the Beverly Center. Beck was working at Figaro Cafe in like Los Feliz, just shitty restaurants. Right. And Kyle was working at the Film Archive of USC. Okay. Like below one of the theaters.
Was that
just
useful?
I get, yeah, I probably was, but he was really just like cataloging old cameras and stuff. They had like this amazing little like, I don't even know if it's public. I'm sure you could like request to go see, but and I mean there was lots of other jobs. I think Kyle worked for a management company reading scripts, and we were all over the place. Was the plan
always like to get SNL specifically?
I don't know. That felt so impossible to me. It just felt like, we don't even need to do that. We can just, because at some point we had a pilot with Comedy Central. So that was really it. And also right around here, like Workaholics were starting to do great. And we saw like a lot of parallels. We're like, oh, okay, we're like three white guys who are funny and some rascals. Yeah. And so we were kind of like, maybe that's the path, is we just have like the Good Neighbor show. And we kind of went down that path, and we got very, very close. We made the pilot. They never aired it. It was pretty weird. And they were like, Comedy Central was like, okay, this is cool. They basically gave us like $50,000 to make, a presentation or something, a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was like the most money any of us had ever heard of. And then they were like, this is weird. We're not really sure what this is. We really like it. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to give you guys like a real budget to make like a special. There was like a lot of Comedy Central specials.
Right.
Not just standing up on stage, but like make a 45-minute special. And then that might become the show. And so we were right on the path of doing that. We were like interviewing showrunners and stuff and figuring out what that was going to be. And then like, of course, as soon as that happened, then like Lorne Michaels came knocking, and then SNL came, and we all auditioned, and then that was it.
Auditioning for SNL, like every other teenager, I was watching SNL, and the show fascinates me. So Lorne Michaels calls you guys. Let's talk about what the audition process is like.
It's, I mean, I think the full process is pretty intense. I didn't make it past the first, like, you know, round or two or something. Like, but basically, you get like a week. It was like, hey, do you guys want to audition for SNL? We're like, yeah, of course. They're like, great, it's next Thursday. And we're like, wait, what the hell? And it wasn't together.
As a writer or a performer?
Initially, I auditioned as a performer.
Okay.
But we auditioned like individually. And I forget why. I think Kyle was shooting something. Kyle had like found some like pretty incredible success already on TV. So he was like, I believe he was shooting something in like Belgium or somewhere. But Beck and I were in Texas shooting this like little indie movie called, well, now it's called Balls Out. But it was called Intramural. But it's great. And it had like Kate McKinnon in it, and Jake Lacey, and Brian McElhaney and Nick Kocher, who we all like became friends with and still are friends with. But so Beck and I were in like Austin, Texas, filming this thing, living in this Airbnb together. And for some reason, we both had mopeds. We'd found moped. Like Beck had we found somebody in the neighborhood had a moped, and was like, hey, if I get it tuned and fixed, can I have it? So I would just drive mopeds around like to open mics in Austin and do like characters and like pop in and be like, hey, do you mind if I do like 7 minutes? I'm just going to be running my SNL audition. And that was very exciting. So people were like, yeah, please. And then all the comedians hated it because, you know, comedians hate watching comedy. And then then we had to fly back to LA and perform at the Improv West. It was a okay crowd. Like there was some reason it wasn't just like Lorne and the producers, and it was just like, you know, a character showcase show. And we did the show and felt pretty good about it. And then I think a week later, I found out that I wasn't moving on to the next thing, but I was still being considered as a writer. And I think Beck and Kyle had to go to New York and do like a stage test and do the whole thing and like at Studio 8H or whatever it is, and do it in front of like a big empty stage with just like 4 people and clipboards. And
that sounds very awkward.
How does that even work? Like, how do you?
Well, like,
I think it's like trial by fire. I think the whole show is like trial by fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
they used to, like, I'm sure you could find them, but when they used to put the best of SNL DVDs out, like they'd be like best of Will Ferrell, best of Chris Kattan, whatever, they would often put their audition tape at the end.
Yeah, I've seen various.
I've seen a couple.
I've seen various. They're very interesting. It's like Will Ferrell pretending to be a cat on that stage to just dead silence.
Yeah, because nobody laughs.
Nobody's laughing. It's
one of my favorite comedy stories is Bill Hader and Andy Samberg are auditioning on the same day, right? And they don't know each other yet, and they both get in the same elevator. And Andy Samberg has a bunch of props with him, right? And Bill Hader in his head is thinking, oh shit, this guy has props. I'm not prepared at all. And Andy Samberg in his head is thinking, oh, this guy doesn't need props.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna fucking, I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, exactly.
They both
are fine.
They did. But I mean, right around the time that you guys were auditioning was a pretty big transition of that show, because like a lot of that cast that came in right after the Will Ferrell era was leaving, right? Like Fred and Bill and Andy.
Yeah, that's
Jason.
right.
All those guys were like within 1 or 2 years gone. And I think it's always interesting to see what comes after a high point in SNL. And the cast that like followed, it was big shoes. And I remember watching it in college and being like, these guys are really good too. I was like so used to the cast I kind of grew up on, but then, the SNL Kate and Kyle and Beck and all those people, I was like, this is a great cast as well, which is hard. But they get it that year. And you don't get it, right?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't even get hired as a writer.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty devastating. I I had a job at the time. I was working for this like block of animated shows that
Was this for Adult Swim?
It wasn't, but Fox was trying to do Adult Swim.
Okay.
So Fox was trying to do a Saturday night hour block. I mean, they did it for many years.
Yeah.
Called like ADHD, Animation Domination High Definition.
Oh, right.
But it was the same. It was the same model. It was all like quarter-hour shows. So it'd be like 15-minute shows instead of half-hour shows, and there'd be like 4 of them. And so I had gotten this job maybe a year or two previously, which was a really fun. I mean, it was great. That was also a little bit of trial by fire because I would work on all of those shows. So it was like in this one office, like running between like 4 different rooms.
So there was the same staff for all 4 shows. Not.
It was just me really who crossed over. Okay. It was like one was like the old Power Violence guys. Like they had a show called Stone Quackers, and then these other guys who had made this show called Golan the Insatiable. So it was the 2 creators of that, and then the band Balloons. Oh, you guys can't see the video, but I got to see some more balloons.
Yeah, it came back for a minute and then it went away
really?
again.
Yeah, I'll keep like cycling it.
That's fine.
No, it was like there was a core crew for each show, and then there was some people who would like hop around. Like the 2 head writers were kind of hopping around a lot, and then I was just kind of pushed around as like, oh, why don't you go in there and help with this episode? Why don't you go over there and help? Like, oh, they're breaking this thing, you go over there now, which was very exciting. And it was like my first real writing. Well, my first real writing gig was with Odd Future for Loiter Squad. So it was devastating because all my buddies were leaving, and I didn't get to go, but I had this like nice pad of this like really great company, and everybody I'm still friends with from that company. And so it was nice. It was like, wasn't horrible. And then a year later, they were like, hey, now SNL wants to see your writing packet, and then I got hired, and then I had to leave that job that I loved.
Well, so a year later, you get on SNL as a writer.
Yeah.
What I can hear from 1,000 different people their experiences of working on SNL and always be fascinated by it. What was that like?
I mean, it's like the greatest job and like the worst job at the same time. It's so much pressure, there's so much stress, but at the same time you're in New York and you're filming the show that everybody loves. And I was still doing stand-up at the time, so like I could just do shows all the time, but it's just like you just have the highest highs and then the lowest lows. It's just so much stress. I mean, getting the job was incredible. My girlfriend at the time had just gotten a job in New York, so she was already living there. And I was like, all right, it's okay. Like, we lived together, and she moved to New York for whatever the length of her show was going to be. And then, like, a month later, I was like, got to call her and say, like, I'm moving to New York with you. You're going to be on this ABC sitcom that got canceled, and I'm going to be on SNL, and then got fired. I was like, but like, we were like in heaven, and we got this like baller like penthouse apartment, and we like lived in Williamsburg, and then just I would have horrible suicide dreams every night. And I would smoke 2 packs of Parliament Lights in my office, and then sometimes you get something on the air and you feel great, and you watch it in front of a live audience and you feel like a king, and then other times like your sketch gets cut right at dress rehearsal, and you're just like, you go outside and you smoke 1,000 cigarettes by the Christmas tree in front of Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds.
I just watched that
rich.
Lauren documentary, the relatively.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, I have a different opinion on it than someone who worked on the show, I would imagine. It might give you significantly more anxiety than me.
Maybe, yeah.
But, I mean, I found it fascinating because it shows all the different phases of putting a show together. So, like, there's footage of the table read where you can tell he's not into something, and everyone talks about what he does when he's not into something or when he's disappointed, but it still has to go about it. Like the way he'll sigh. And like then it's all these people being like, I hate that sigh.
Yeah.
Or like throwing ice while watching Dress, just being like, this is fucking wrong.
There's all these Laurenisms that you're like watching him like he's
and it was everyone
like
that had worked there was like knew all of them, which was fascinating to me. But there was one that really stuck with me where someone, I can't remember who, was talking about the notes he gives and how they're incredibly confusing. And they were like, okay, one of his notes was, if you're going to be clingy, do it in beats. Like, the fuck
You got
does
it,
that
Lauren.
mean?
Do it in beats.
You got it, Lauren. That's funny. I mean, like, you know, he's an intimidating figure. And he was up there even when I was there 10 plus years ago. But like, I thought he was very, very sharp. Like if I was sitting under the bleachers going over like notes after a dress, like I thought he was very sharp. I mean, maybe, you know, everybody has different experiences, but he didn't strike me as like the emperor has no clothes or like, what the hell is he talking about? I was like, okay,
No.
I get why he's like still doing this.
Yeah,
I mean,
right,
he's a little elusive and like can be, you know, cryptic, I guess. But I remember thinking like, okay, this makes sense. Because I was kind of like, what, is he just a figurehead? He just pops in, shakes Chevy Chase's hand and then leaves. And it's like, no, he's like involved.
I mean, he reads all the stage direction, you know?
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like he would have to. You know,
No,
it's just like
no,
little
there's-
things like that where you could have passed that off.
Yeah, you could
know?
pass that off.
You don't have to do that for 50 years. Someone else can take over.
Yeah, truly. I mean, he's still doing it. He's still kicking. I don't know what's up next. I feel like the craziest thing about, I mean, it's been talked about a billion times, but you know, the Tuesday night writer night into the table read is is like the best and worst night of your life, and then you have to repeat it 20 times that year, like. But I would just write until I would start around like 3 or 4 p.m. because nobody gets into the office before like 12. No, I would say before like 5, really. And then you take your meeting with the host, and then I would write overnight until they wanted scripts in, I think, by 1 p.m. or something, like the next day. So I'd write up until the wire, turn my scripts in, and then I shared an office with Sashir, and I would go sleep on the couch for an hour and a half. Then I would go sneak into the employee gym, shower, put on my same clothes, and then go sit through like a 4-hour table read. And just watch my sketches get ripped apart.
And watch him just drop it on the ground.
Yeah, and then you have to hang for like 4 more hours, and that's kind of a fun time because everybody's just like, now it's like beer o'clock, and people are like watching TV, and you're like hanging out in your offices as they like make the decisions of all the head writers like going to the office, and then they come out and truly post like a list of sketches that made it and didn't, like it's a High School Musical audition.
Right.
Like they come in and put it on the wall, and then somebody runs down the hallway and is like, picks her up, picks her up, picks her up, and everybody stops what they're doing and races out to see it. It's the most silly thing.
What an intense, that's such a trip.
And at the end of the day, it's still just comedy.
Right.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
it's still just
comedy.
like
Pretty serious
like Meryl
stuff.
Streep making vagina jokes.
Yeah, exactly. World changing stuff.
You know, but like, I mean, how is it to write? Because the host can sometimes obviously be someone who can do it, you know, where it's like, hey, you're in comedy. Like, you're clearly going to be good, or someone who's experienced, been through the week before, versus someone who's not in comedy, hasn't done it before. You have to, like, I imagine, change up what you're doing for each host a little bit.
Well, it's kind of nice because, you know, it gives you somebody to write for. So it's not just like, new week, just blank slate of what's a sketch.
Right.
You know, we didn't have any terrible hosts. I think like Donald Trump like hosted the following year or something, but I wasn't around for that. But I liked everybody. It's funny, the ones I thought would be fantastic often weren't, and the ones that I would be like, well, this guy's going to be a stinker, were always like surprising. Maybe that's just expectation.
Yeah.
Well, like, I kind of, and this is unfair because I like respect her, but like, there's a Sarah Silverman hosted, and I kind of knew her from like the Comedy Store and doing stand up in LA, and like we had mutual friends and stuff. And so I was really excited for her to come through. I was like, I'm going to have a buddy, and I got her like weed. Like, because I was like, you know, it wasn't weed. You couldn't buy weed everywhere yet. So I got weed from my dealer, and like, she's a big pothead, and I was gonna, in our writers meeting, I was just going to give her weed, and like, didn't think that she's probably already figured that out, and also doesn't want my weed. But so she took the weed, but also I think she kind of came in. This is unfair. This is going to be like the headline from this podcast. I think she came because she, I think, also got wronged by SNL. I think she was like a writer and then put on the cast for a year and then demoted and then fired. So I think she kind of came in like, you know, with a chip on her shoulder, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very scarring show. So And I think the comedians knew what they wanted to do, so they were less interested in working with the writers, you know. So in addition, she's like, "Well, I'm Sarah Silverman. I'm going to listen to this guy who tried to buy me with weed. Like who the fuck is this guy?"
She can write, you know, like
she's a great writer. Yeah,
yeah. So I think that, I imagine, becomes kind of complicated if you're working with like Peyton Manning. He's not writing. He's going to do.
Yeah, he's like, "Please help me out." Yeah,
I tell you to do.
And then he does it great. You know,
he does
really
great,
good.
yeah. And also, his limitations. So all he has to do is like read a cue card and like throw like a fake turkey through a window.
Yeah, or just be a dick to kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. There's something about that show that, and I don't know what's going to happen when Lauren dies, because it's gonna at some point, you know. And because he is so involved.
Yeah,
I don't know where that goes. You know, there's not like a protector of the show anymore.
I know. I mean, they always say like Tina Fey will do it. I don't think she would do it. Maybe like 10 years ago. I'm sure I mean, the head writers now are great. Like it's Mikey Day and Streeter Seidel, I think. At least they were last time I knew.
Colin Jost is something.
Yeah, and Colin Jost might be as well.
Yeah, and he's been
maybe like the head writer of the Weekend Update portions. I mean, he was the head writer when I was there.
Yeah,
but there was like 3 of them. I'm sure there's somebody who could take up the mantle. I mean, I think you lose the like myth and the lore of it not being Lauren, but
Sure.
And also it's like it's funny because it's like everybody says like you could do that so much better. Why do you only write overnight, one night a week? And I think that's a remnant from like cocaine, the roaring cocaine 70s and 80s.
Because you could.
And yeah, of course it is. And it's kind of a production necessity too. But there's no reason why we can't start Monday morning and write for 9 hours and then go home, have dinner, and then do it again Tuesday. But there's something exciting about it, and there's something about like that pressure cooker that I think is magical. And so it's like you almost wouldn't even, if you came in and you're like, we're easing up the production schedule, and nobody can stay overnight anymore. I just don't know if it would be the same. Like everybody would live longer and be happier, but like that's not what you're there for.
I mean, a lot of the original people are still around, so maybe it does work.
Maybe there's a secret to it.
It's like Keith Richards is still fine.
Yeah,
but I mean, how does it change writing comedy for a live sketch show versus a not live but still people, like a live action sitcom style, then like animated like Rick and Morty or the animation domination stuff, because they're all different categories.
Yeah, they're all different. I mean, it's all just different like ball games. It's like for SNL, you have such limited time. You gotta like get it out early, and you gotta you have to find the joke really early and get it out, and then like kind of repeat it 4 times. What was that?
That seems like a certain pressure you don't get in other places.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the skill that kind of crosses over is there's so many times on Tuesday night when I would be like banging my head against a wall. I would like go outside to call my girlfriend who had lost her job and was now back in LA. And it'd be like 4 a.m. and I'd just be like, I'm not funny. I can't do this. I'm not funny. They're laughing in the office next to me. They're writing something funny. They have props. I don't have any props. And I'm like gonna fucking lose my. And she would just talk me off that ledge, and you go back in. And I think with the skill that crosses over is like, with Rick and Morty, it's like you have 2 weeks to write a 36-page script, and then which is quite a longer amount of time, but also more pages and maybe more consideration. Is like you just have to get it done. Like you can't wait for the inspiration, like the work the jokes follow the work, like just the act of just writing it. And that was an incredible skill to learn, is like, you don't have, there's no time to sit around and like bounce a ball off the wall and go like, what's a funny thing for The Rock to do? What should the Rock do? Like you kind of just have to like let it rip, and then like just let the keys fly, and then you look at it and go, no, that's not funny. And then do that again and again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to remember the exact saying, but it's something along the lines of, we don't go on at 11:30 because we're ready. We go on at 11:30 because it's 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I really operate well with deadlines. I kind of need them. Like I'm debilitatingly, I'll procrastinate forever without them. So it was nice to have that built-in one every time. And I try to like, create a fake version of that with my own work, but it's just impossible.
Right. I mean,
because I know I got another day if I need it.
You can't trick yourself.
You go.
Yeah, I cannot trick myself.
After you leave SNL, you go back to acting, kind of.
Yeah.
Right? Why?
Well, I always considered myself an actor more than a writer, and then I just kept on getting writing jobs. So I was like, okay, world, I see you. Okay. But the year before, when I wasn't at SNL yet, I auditioned for this show called Corp LLC.
Right.
That was on Adult Swim. And I got it, and we shot the pilot, and I was like kind of this guest star on it. I was just like the patient of the week. We shot it in the summer. I found out I was going to SNL. They called me to go to SNL, and it was like, great. They called me on a Thursday, and like, great, can you be here Monday?
Yeah.
So that's how fast it moves. And I went to SNL, came back for the summer break, and like the day I landed, Danny Stessen, who created Dream Corp, he like calls me, and he's like, we got picked up. We're getting 6 episodes. I'm changing your role. I want you to be in every episode. So you're going to be kind of like this assistant / janitor.
Right.
And I want you to help me write all the episodes. And I was like, okay, man, but I'm going back to SNL in 2 months. So if we can write a full season of TV in 2 months, we're game. But other than that, I got to go back to New York. And then I found out I wasn't going back. So it dovetailed perfectly into Dream Corp. And then we made Dream Corp for like 7 years or something. Maybe not that long. But we did 3 seasons of Dream Corp. It ran for a while, yeah. And there was a long production, and we had a lot of time like to get it written. So that was just kind of the combination of acting and writing. And then along that time, Mike McMahon, like kind of near the end of Dream Corp, Mike McMahon, who was a Rick and Morty writer at the time, was leaving to go do other things, and he's always just been a fan. I forget how we met. Oh, we met in adults and ADHD, like in Fox. And he was like, you should meet Dan. I think you'd be great for this show. And I was like, what's Rick and Morty? And then I met Dan and worked with him a little bit, and then like kind of dovetailed into that job. So
what's he like?
Then I was a writer again.
Because I've always loved Dan as a writer. What's he like?
Dan is really, really good at story and structure and dialogue, and I think he just does not. He just would rather like build tunnels under his house and woodwork. Yeah. I think he's done it for a very long time. I think he didn't get a lot of respect for it for a very long time. And I think there's part of him that is just like, why do I have to keep doing this?
Right.
But he's very generous when like, he's very generous with his like advice, and he makes things so much better. He's just like pulled in different directions. So it's like when he's not around, you're kind of like, how do we make this more Dan? And then he'll come in for a table read and like, make his adjustments, and then it becomes more Dan. But I just spent the whole weekend with him at Comic-Con, and I don't know. He's a great guy. I feel like he's got a bad rap for, maybe accurate reasons, but I think that's what the one question after Rick and Morty, everybody was like, what's it like working with Dan? So what's it like working with Dan? And I thought he was lovely. We got along great.
That makes me so happy to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, we got along great.
I mean, it's kind of going from one show with a dominating personality.
Right.
To another show with a dominating personality. But
I guess so.
In kind of a very different way.
Right.
It seems like,
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, I remember when Rick and Morty came out, it's another one of those things where like animated TV had been around a while, right? Family Guy, The Simpsons, they had all done weird shit.
Yeah,
right.
Rick and Morty.
Then I was like, all of a sudden I was like, this is really weird shit.
Yeah.
And like, I'm always fascinated with people that can get away with weird shit, for an extended period of time and like make other people buy into it.
Right, and make people invest like heavily into it.
Yeah, I mean, like now you can go to Walmart and buy Rick and Morty pants,
Yeah.
And like, if you really think about it, that's odd.
That is odd.
That is odd.
You
A
know?
show that started with like a grandpa making his grandson shove like spiky seeds up his asshole to smuggle them back to Earth.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
now Walmart is like, hey, Asian kids, make us pants we can sell to Middle America.
Right. Everybody will buy this. And there's not a head shop in the world that doesn't have like a Pickle Rick bong.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's. I mean, you also are involved with the Eric Andre show, which is another thing.
Another institution.
Some weird shit, you know? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
pretty-
Eric is fantastic. I've known him for a very long time, and he's also just ballsy as fuck too. And he like, because now his stuff is like popping up online, like old Eric Andre sketches.
Yeah.
I just saw one today where he's my alien dad, and he just like pops out of a laundromat naked with like goo on his head, and like people are swinging at him. He did that for like 6 seasons and made jack shit for like most of them. Like only as it got near the end was it like starting to like, you know, pay off. But yeah, he's a good guy.
I mean, there's something about like very absurdist comedy.
Yeah, you don't have to rein it in, do you?
And like, I also think that now
Not for him.
absurdist comedy in the past like 7 to 10 years has gotten a pretty big resurgence, you know, where like shows like Eric Andre or Tim Robinson stuff with I Think You Should Leave and Detroiters, like those are weird fucking shows, you know?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden there seems to be an appetite from the, you know, the TV viewing or streaming viewing, whatever, however people fucking watch stuff, demographic where they don't want like the straight Roseanne style comedy anymore. They want it to be like some kind of weird uncanny valley comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I was better at like following trends and stuff or like speaking on them. But I mean, they're still making multicam sitcoms, you know, and they still do really well. Like, I think there's just more avenues and there's more, or it's like we grew up watching Roseanne or watching our parents watch Roseanne, and then we're like, well, I don't know any of what this is about. And then so somebody comes out and he like farts out of his ears and you're like, now that's my shit. That's my shit.
Well, the world is pretty fucking absurd right now.
Yeah. And and it feels like it's getting more absurd every
Yeah,
day.
so I feel like absurdity making a resurgence is pretty apt right now.
I mean, I think it's interesting that The Big Bang Theory had a spin-off, right? Like The Big Bang Theory is like one of the biggest shows of all time.
I've never seen an episode.
It's fine. It's not, I don't know. And
I've
then,
seen like one.
Yeah, then they have a spin-off that's a normal show, right? And they have another spin-off that's a normal show. And now they have a spin-off where it's alternate dimensions, and Brian Posehn and Lauren Lapkus are in it, and the main characters are like getting killed and shit. Like,
Is
I don't
that
know,
what that is?
Yeah, dude.
That's related to the Big Bang Theory?
Huh?
No, that's in the Big Bangiverse? I had no idea.
Yeah, like they're stuck in all these. Like, I don't know. My dad told me about the first episode, and it's like an apocalyptic universe, and like Raj gets like shot in the first 5 minutes, and they're trying to get out of this apocalypse type thing, and like, what the fuck?
Is that good?
Damn.
Is that like they're getting more creative, or is that just they're throwing anything at the wall to get money?
I mean, Brian Posehn and Lauren Lapkus, and they're all good.
them,
Like, it's a
yeah.
good
They're
cast.
all good, yeah.
You know? And it's a good cast of people that have been doing kind of weird comedy for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? So it's just, it's interesting to me that like a machine like the Big Bang Theory, with that much money and that much time behind it, decided to be like, how fucking weird can it get?
Let's get weird.
You know?
I mean, is it like is it good? Is you know, question of taste? I haven't seen it, but is it a cash grab? Is really like, you know, is that a Chuck Lorre show? Probably. It's
Yes.
like, hey, if you slap Big Bang Theory on anything, then we immediately have like 5 million people who are interested.
But how many of those people are going to watch this and be like, oh, no, thank you?
I don't. What did you do? Yeah.
That's not George and Mandy's first marriage, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
that would be hilarious.
I like that though. That's funny to me that I had no idea it was like attached to that in any way, and I've been wanting to watch that.
yeah, man, because like it doesn't look like it.
Now it
You
doesn't
know?
at all.
And I mean, what's it called? I think it's, now we're just pushing the fucking Big Bang Theory.
I know. Now we're just putting money in Chuck Lorre's pocket.
Talking to us about
This is a Big Bang talk. Well, I didn't know they had. I know the Young Sheldon, but there was another one.
Yeah, man, there was another one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's It does. I mean, it does numbers, but I just found it interesting that they decided to go crazy. And
I like that. I like that.
In a way,
I think that's kind of fun. Yeah.
In some ways, it seems like it might be inspired by like the Rick and Morty type animation, because it is. I mean, being stuck in an alternate universe and a main character getting killed is some Rick and Morty shit.
Yeah. I don't know who like started. I mean, I'm sure it was like a DC comic or a Marvel like series, but when the world got obsessed with multiverses,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like everything had a multiverse, and then that was an excuse for everything. I mean, it's pretty smart. You can make a million Spider-Mans in the multiverse. You
And
know?
you can kill people and bring them back and do whatever the fuck you want. I don't know. It's an odd landscape. What are you working on right now?
I'm working with Danny again. We have a television show that we are trying to. It's pretty new, but somebody's interested, and I know what a lame way to end a podcast. And then other than that, like I'm kind of freelancing. Like I do a lot of punch up stuff. I'll occasionally. I'm developing stuff. I sold a show to this company called Review. It's an animated show, and we are just working on a proof of concept presentation, exactly like the Good Neighbor pilot from forever ago. So I've learned to not get too excited about anything. I'm just a resentful downer. But it's all in the somewhat dystopic, weird sci-fi world. I just love that shit.
You're
so
good at that.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Eli.
I'm kind of curious. So, like, when you're selling a show, what does that entail, and how long does it actually take before that show's gonna be aired?
Yeah, doesn't it take forever?
Oh, it takes forever. I mean, I think I pitched this to the guy. I want to say easily a year ago, maybe longer. And then it took like 3 months for them to go like, yeah, great. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do this. And then now our business affairs are going to draft the deal. And that took, no joke, like 6 months.
Jesus Christ.
And honestly, I want to say like a month and a half ago, they're like, great, we're happy with the deal. All my reps are like, we love the deal. We're good with the deal. Man, we got some great stuff in this deal. It's a great deal. I was like, great, can I get to work? And they're like, no, we got a few things with the deal we got to deal with. Like, I swear to God, and like I still don't know.
Shit, man.
And then I started working on it. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just start working on it. Like whatever. Then when the money comes, I'll just be like, it's done. And my manager was like, no, they're still working on the deal. And then when the deal comes through, then you can start work, but don't start working until then.
We do like the deal, though.
Yeah, but they love the deal. I don't know what, but it's also completely different. I'm sure the same thing. Like, I'm sure Harmon can they just released a Rick and Morty spinoff called President Curtis, and I think it just aired Sunday maybe. And I'm sure when that, other than the deal taking forever, I'm sure he goes up to like Adult Swim and is like, hey, let's do another show. And they're like, yeah, okay, it's done.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they do a 1.5-year deal. But animation takes forever, man. It just takes so long.
Yeah.
Unless you're Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
With animation now, because it's obviously changed very drastically in the past 50 years. The original Scooby-Doo backdrops were paintings, and they're beautiful. But
they are beautiful.
Now, I mean, it's not people painting and shooting through different, glass screens for, perspective and all that kind of shit. I would have assumed that animation would be quicker because you can computerize it, but I have no concept of how animation works. Like,
I guess I don't either. Yeah, you're right. It should be. I mean, I guess to do, they also like cycle. They use like a lot of repeating like animation cycles. So when Scooby-Doo is running, it's like 6 frames, just like.
Right.
I think like when you look at episodes. There was a lot of episodes, but also I think it was the same like Daphne or standing around and like just changing the lip flap. I think the audiences are more savvy, and so now there's like 3D animation in there, and it's also like farmed all over the place. So much of it's done in house at Rick and Morty, but really only to some extent. And then backgrounds are done in house, and props are done in house, character design. I mean, it's just like animation coordinators, like production coordinators, that has to be the most stressful job in the world. It's like 9 pieces coming from like 9 different studios stitched together. Like everybody's got a different schedule. But yeah, you would think. Well, my fear is that it does become that. Is that it becomes kind of mainstream that you can just pop it into like some AI and say, "Give me this," because I just I mean, I guess that's where we're headed anyway. But I don't think we have to be.
No, I mean that would suck. Like I would
totally
much
suck.
rather look at the same 5 backdrops that somebody hand painted.
Yeah.
Than
Is there a
computer spitting out, wildly different shit.
Right. Is there enough of that happening, you think, that we don't have to go that way?
They I mean, what's traditional? Like, but 5 years ago animation, 2 years ago animation. I think so. I have a feeling that a lot of companies are doing, and this is like, I have no idea, but if you're a company and you're an animation studio and you're like, well, we could do we could do these backgrounds in half the time if we use a little bit of generative AI. And who's going to know? I have a feeling it's happening more than nobody's advertising like, hey, this one's all AI. Hell yeah. So I think it's being implemented. I haven't seen it on my personal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I have no idea. And then also, it's like, I understand the argument of like, well, Photoshop is blah, blah, blah. And so it's, we have to have the conversation of what qualifies as generative and like what doesn't. And like Danny, we did Dream Corp for years, and the post was like a year and a half for each season, which was crazy. It's wildly expensive, and it was painstakingly like drawn over. We would shoot everything was live action, then they would roto over it by hand. And then like the next year after we were no longer on the air, that company who did all that, this company called BMO, like developed a tool that allowed that to be done way easier, which is a step away from AI. It wasn't generative, but they just like, we programmed it so now it would be much easier. So it's like, is that, was that cheating? I mean, we never used it because we weren't making the show anymore, but like, I don't know. I always sound like I'm defending AI and I hate it, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's more of it's coming. I just hope less of it's coming in these podcast studios because it keeps throwing like balloons above my head and yeah. Wait, does it do it for you? Maybe it's my like computer. There it is. There it is.
We go.
There it is.
I mean, Netflix just admitted that they used AI in like 180 titles in the past couple of years.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That tracks.
And it's annoying because nobody fucking caught it.
Yeah, but isn't it like, we wanted that window like across the street, we wanted the light to be on, and I
don't know.
It's like, we need more information. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's a weird, as long as, my main thing is I don't want AI generating content that nobody writes, that nobody voices, that nobody acts in.
Yeah.
Like all of that to me.
The dead internet spreads.
Like,
exactly.
You can make your own movie and have it be whatever you want. It's like, well, I don't want that.
Right. The hardest to make movies.
I want someone to make a movie, and then I go, hey, that looks interesting. Right. Then I see their vision of it.
Yeah. No? And then you go, what else do they do? Oh, they did this little thing, and then...
Yeah. And
I do think there'll be, it'll be like, I guess, the marijuana industry or the wine industry, where you can get like $2 chuck. But you can just go to like get some really great wine. And I think there will definitely be like, hey, little kid, you can be Miles Morales. You can be in your very own Miles Morales movie, and there'll be a market for that. And you enter your mom as the aunt and whatever, and you get your own it outputs this movie for you. But I don't think like just heart-grown, homemade, or handmade entertainment will ever go away.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still around. Yeah, I hope not.
I mean, 5 years ago, I didn't hear the word AI ever. Now I hear it every day of my fucking life.
That's true. But it's all kind of failing. It's like, I mean, like, it's like OpenAI is like going to run out of money next year. Like, they've just been trying to force this adoption without really having a business plan. The business plan is just like, well, fuck, we'll get a bunch of money, and it's like SpaceX. It's like, well, we're not really gonna land a rocket there, but we can just raise a shit ton of money.
If we tell people what it could do, they'll give us money.
We'll give the promise. I don't know, man. It's all make believe. It's all make believe.
Everything's make believe anyway, but I'd rather it be made up by people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me old fashioned.
but I want to see stuff get shoved up a grandpa's ass drawn by hand.
Yeah, exactly. Drawn by overworked animators in a Burbank office building. Yeah.
Chain smoking guys at 3 a.m. trying to get it done before.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure out what the Rock should do.
Figuring out what the
Right.
right should do. Yeah.
But yeah, Nick, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you
Pleasure,
very much
man.
for sitting
Yeah.
with
This
us.
has been a real good time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.